Igor, yesterday, one of the stories on Think Progress was about what's happening in one more state where the barriers to same-sex marriage seem to be falling, the state of Arkansas. What's the latest?
Well, the first southern state, really, to have marriage equality, for the time being, a federal judge on Friday ruled that the ban, now they have two bans, one in state law and one a state constitutional amendment they passed in 2004 prohibiting marriage equality.
Yeah, this is one of the states that passed the constitutional
in 2004
amendment.
under Bush during that re-election campaign. The judge said, it's an Arkansas judge, that it's unconstitutional. It violates equal protections, and gay couples should be allowed to marry, and they have been starting on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Now, the other interesting wrinkle is the Attorney General in Arkansas, this guy Dustin McDaniel, a week prior to the decision, announced his personal support for marriage equality. He was the first state lawmaker to do so. But he said he's still going to defend state law. And so on Monday, yesterday, he filed an appeal to stay the decision, appealing the judge's ruling to the state Supreme Court. But as that's proceeding, I think more than 200 same-sex couples have already gotten married in Arkansas. And
they've got this window, in other words.
The small window of
yeah.
some kind to get married until the decision is reviewed rather. And the interesting part here is there's a big race, a big Senate race in Arkansas between Mark Pryor, the sitting Democrat, and Tom Cotton, who's a congressman who's challenging him. And both men are completely silent on this decision. Pryor isn't releasing a statement. I asked Cotton multiple times to say something. He hasn't. Now, he opposes marriage equality, but he hasn't weighed in on this case. And it's astounding. 10 years after this passed, overwhelmingly in Arkansas, 75% of Arkansas voters supported this ban in 2004. 10 years later, the Republican, who's in a very tight race to replace Mark Pryor, doesn't want to talk about it.
Doesn't want to talk about it. But also, 10 years later, Arkansas becomes, for this, there's so many other states that have reversed themselves, where people have reversed, whatever. But for a southern state, for Arkansas to be
it's really tremendous. Now, it's the 18th state now to have marriage equality, at least temporarily in Arkansas.
Right.
And since June of 2012, when the Supreme Court struck that section of DOMA down, you've had at least 8 judges invalidating same-sex marriage bans in states across the country.
So I think it's only a matter of time before all these constitutional amendments passed in 2004, as you point out, during the Bush re-election, which Republicans put on the ballot in order to get people to turn out on that issue. That was a hot-button issue of the day. Eventually, all of those constitutional amendments are going to be, I think, tossed out as unconstitutional.
As unconstitutional, right. Kind of based on the Supreme Court finding.